only 2 open play. They came in the first half of this match. But to be fair, very little to do as she sat behind a very solid defence. I'm not sure she made too many saves in this tournament.
Yeah, not at all. Formidable back four of the Nigerians, but of course the first line of communication from the back certainly starts with her organization. This is Nadozi.
24-year-old who started at Rivers United in Port Harcourt, has just signed for Brighton in the Women's Soccer League in the UK. Golden boots for her 5 goals will go to Gislan Shebak. She had 4 coming into this tournament. Very difficult for her to raise a smile, but she was again in 2022 player of the tournament, scorer there. So yet another golden boot for her. And player of the tournament is the Nigerian captain Ajibade, a winner in 2018 at the last WAFCON that Nigeria won. She'll return with the honour of lifting the trophy. So, Rasheedat Ajibade, one of the greats of the game in Nigeria, alongside her federation president as well. But now to the bronze medals and to Ghana, who won the 3rd place playoff last night. You got to watch that from the stands. Certainly deserved that victory against South Africa. Side who started with a defeat against Banyana in their opening group game, but certainly Ghana improved. Vital winner over Tanzania in their last group match to put their way through, and then really tough progress at the expense of Algeria, and another penalty shootout, denying their place in the final. And tonight's refereeing team also picking up their medals along with the VAR components. Excellent support these days, and once again an all-ladies team in charge of the final today. Both the officials on the pitch, that includes the 4th official, plus all 3 of them in the VAR tent. It hasn't always been the case throughout this tournament, so much progress as well as far as officiating is concerned on the African continent. You've been pretty impressed with the referees in this tournament?
Yep, absolutely. I think the innovations as well around to support the referees. Their training programs very intense coming into this sort of competition, especially WAFCON. I think they continue to just keep raising the bar really high.
So here come Ghana. Maybe a word from you, Amanda, about Ghana. A little surprised that they got this far. Is this a revival perhaps for the Black Queens?
A revival certainly indeed, and I think the coach also just being appointed in January, coming in to take over a very young team, trying to find the balance with the young exuberance, but also the experience of the likes of Portia, the team captain. The dark horses of the competition, I don't think that anybody gave them a chance to be where they are, but certainly applied themselves. They introduced us to some very, very fresh talent. I think players who really started unknown, but now really going away back home to Ghana, Accra, maybe with a loud statement and certainly unforgettable. Bali?
It's Ghana going up on the stage, if you're wondering. They came 3rd in the tournament. As we celebrate, of course, Morocco, as well as Nigeria in 2nd and 1st. Nigerians will be loudest this evening as they have won it for the 10th time in a row. But it's Ghana that goes up.
A tournament to be proud for the Ghanaians.
Absolutely. You know, these women brought the heat into the tournament, and you could see it. They've been absent since 2018 when they hosted it, actually, and they didn't get out of the group. They're also another country that is rebuilding their women's football, and it's getting better and better because you can see with the young players that they have, they've got 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds in their team. The oldest player, Bucheka, who's there as the captain, Portia, she has more than 100 caps, and she's really led this team. This is a good one for them when you look at the type of football that they play. So congratulations to them. They really fought for it. This coach here was not looked at to say he's going to do good, but he really did well for the Ghanaians.
I think a lot of teams can actually learn from this, Shotty, where we're speaking about restructuring, your teams. So maybe now going back home for all the national teams that participated in this edition, they can look into whether we need to start afresh, whether we need to add and just reshuffle, but also just start looking to the near future, because, I mean, with the next edition, they're trying to qualify for the World Cup. So the question is, what changes will we see when we come next year, 2 years from now?
Back-to-back 2nd place for this Moroccan team. They lost against Nigeria, but last time around, they lost against South Africa's Banyana. They were 2 goals up, so close, 45 minutes away from lifting this trophy that is so far from them all the time. The one thing they want in women's football, with all the progressions that they've made in women's football, this is the one thing that eludes the Moroccans as they go up to get a medal. They came not for when they know well that gold was within reach. Chebak, she's won the player of the tournament, the top goal scorer, but unfortunately, the one that she wants most, the gold medal from winning the entire tournament, not to be.
Not to be, really, and I hope that they continue investing in women's football in Morocco, because the under-17s qualify for the World Cups, under-20s qualify for the World Cups, the under-23 team, they even have an under-23 team. There's a senior team that is there. They played 9 friendly matches coming into the WAFCON, and the next WAFCON is in 8 months' time, Andile. So the qualifiers start in a month's time. So it's going to be important for this team to look at themselves and say, where did we do better, where did we go wrong, and how can we be
become even better because they brought a world champion coach to say maybe he can help them. But there's so much that you need to look at and say some of it is the trajectory corner is, lack of a better word, but it's too quick also. Because in the past 5 years, they've done so much, they've achieved so much. So if they would have won the WAFCON, it would have simply said to the other countries, so it's also a true reflection to still show Guti there's still a big gap between Nigeria and the rest of the countries.
Before we get into the winning country here, Nigeria, very quickly, the post-analysis of this match, what is Morocco going to see about themselves?
The consistency in them conceding goals easily, the lack of concentration, maybe also fatigue kicking in, you know, like I mentioned, how they ran through the tournament. So also important for the coach is to see how do I plan on, you know, in a tournament like this, of this nature as well, how do I rest my players, how do I prepare them and also focus. But also I just want to mention, Andile, champions are not built overnight. Looking at South African history as well, back when we were playing, we used to go to the finals with Nigeria for almost a decade before we won it. So Morocco, they're on the right path.
When you say decade, that's 10. That's exactly the same amount of times they've won it. Look at the jubilation, look at the excitement. It is a brilliant vibe in Morocco, in Rabat, as the Nigerians go up to receive their gold medals. It's a medal that has been missing from their necks for a very long time. One they've wanted back for a very long time. The pride of Nigeria stands up all the way from Uluehi Chuku down to Chioma Okafo, Deborah Jibiona Abion, Rashidat Busako Ajibade, Rashidat. She
won it as an 18-year-old and she's winning it now as a 25-year-old, and now she's the captain. It's even more sweeter. So the coach has a lot more to build on going forward. I think also credit must also go to the previous coach, Rendi, even though he did not do well in the previous WAFCON, but he tried to steady the ship and rebuild this Nigerian side. Also, my champion, we want to win a cup outside of their own country and outside of their own hosting. I'd love to see how Morocco would perform and play if they were not hosting in Morocco. Firstly, they must play the qualifiers, then they must play outside of Morocco. Let's see the mentality of because some of it has come a bit easy for them. They don't have to play qualifiers. They are playing at home. They're the only team, maybe with their opponents, that has had a full capacity stadium where they had the support. The other matches, so but I enjoyed watching this tournament fully.
Planning and preparation is very key. We mentioned and we spoke about it earlier. Nigeria had a month, and just before they came here, they played against Portugal.
Well, there she is. She's there from the front. Ajibade, who plays the football at Atletico Madrid in Spain, will be collecting